The Return of the Illim, Humanity's Forgotten Origins. Have you ever wondered if humanity is truly alone in the vast expanse of the universe? Or if perhaps, long ago, something or someone played a hand in shaping our existence? On December 16, 1999, in the quiet confines of his office, Silas Blackthorn, the world's foremost skeptic of all things paranormal, found himself facing these very questions. That day began like any other. Silas, known for his relentless debunking of alien sightings and supernatural phenomena, sat behind his desk, preparing notes for his next scathing article. Yet, three strange events disrupted the normalcy of his routine. First, his pencil inexplicably began to levitate above the desk. Second, his steaming cup of coffee froze solid in an instant. And third, the person sitting across from him, who had introduced himself as Ethan, was not human. Silas's instinct was to dismiss it all as an elaborate hoax. After all, countless frauds had tried to convince him of the impossible before. But this was different. The floating pencil and the frozen coffee were undeniable, and Ethan's calm, composed demeanor only added to the surreal atmosphere. "Who are you?" Silas finally asked, his voice tinged with disbelief. Ethan leaned forward, his expression devoid of hostility.
My name is Ethan. It's not my real name, but it's one you can pronounce. I come from a place beyond your understanding. I'm here because your world is on the brink of a monumental change.
Silas remained silent, wary but intrigued. Ethan continued.
Humanity did not evolve naturally. You were created by an ancient alien race called the Illim. They came to Earth 1.5 million years ago, seeking copper, an element vital to their technology. To assist in their efforts, they genetically engineered primitive apes, giving rise to your species.
The skeptic in Silas stirred. He wanted to dismiss Ethan's words as nonsense, yet something about the being's presence made it difficult to do so. Ethan spoke with a conviction that was unsettling.
You are the seventh version of humanity. The Illim experimented for millennia, creating and destroying earlier versions. Each version was wiped out when it failed to meet their expectations. You, the seventh version, were allowed to continue. But now, the Illim are returning to complete their work.
Why? Silas asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Why would they create us?
They needed intelligent beings capable of following orders, but not rebelling. Earlier versions either lacked intelligence or became too aware and curious. You, however, were the perfect compromise, intelligent enough to innovate, but flawed enough to be controlled.
Silas felt a chill run down his spine. He had always dismissed theories about ancient aliens as absurd, yet Ethan's story, while fantastic, seemed disturbingly plausible.
Evidence of the earlier versions is all around you. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built 75,000 years ago, during the fifth version of humanity. The underwater ruins near Bimini date back 16,000 years, created by the sixth version. These remnants were left behind, despite the Illim's efforts to erase the past.
Why don't we know any of this? Silas asked, struggling to process the information.
Because the Illim erased the most obvious traces and reset civilizations. Yet, some things remained. Underground cities like Derinkuyu in Turkey, built to survive catastrophic resets. You've uncovered these mysteries, but without understanding their true significance.
Silas leaned back in his chair, overwhelmed. If Ethan was telling the truth, then humanity's understanding of its history was fundamentally flawed, And if the Illim were returning, what did that mean for the future? "What can we do?" he asked, desperation creeping into his voice. Ethan's expression darkened.
You can't stop them, but you can prepare. Your species has untapped potential. Abilities dormant in your DNA are beginning to awaken due to changes in Earth's magnetic field. Some of you are developing powers, telepathy, telekinesis, heightened intuition. These abilities may be your only chance.
Silas thought of the countless stories he had debunked about psychics and supernatural abilities. Could it be that there was some truth to them after all? "I'll think about it," he said finally, trying to maintain a semblance of composure. Ethan stood, his gaze steady.
You don't have much time. The Illim are coming.
With that, Ethan left, leaving Silas alone in a world that suddenly felt unfamiliar. For years, he had prided himself on being a man of reason, a debunker of myths. Now he was faced with a reality that defied all logic. After Ethan's departure, Silas pulled out an old logbook where he had meticulously documented every case he had investigated. He flipped through its pages, searching for patterns he might have missed. Certain cases now stood out, incidents involving underground sounds and anomalous lights. "Derinkuyu," he murmured, recalling Ethan's mention of the ancient underground city. Built to house thousands, its origin had always been a mystery. Lost in thought, Silas was interrupted by a call from Gertie, an old colleague who shared his interest in ancient mysteries.
Silas, I found some old documents about underground networks in Turkey. Want me to send them?
"Yes, please," Silas said eagerly. "I'm heading to Derinkuyu."
Turkey, what are you looking for there?
Gertie asked, puzzled. "The truth," Silas replied. He packed quickly, taking only what he needed: a notepad, flashlight, camera, and tape recorder. The next morning, he boarded a flight to Istanbul, determined to find answers. In Cappadocia, he met Mehmet, a local guide familiar with Derinkuyu. As they descended into the ancient tunnels, Silas marveled at the engineering feat before him. The city, capable of housing tens of thousands, extended 18 levels underground. "Who built this place?" Silas asked. "No one knows for sure," Mehmet said. "Legends speak of beings who helped ancient humans. Some say they still dwell deep below." Deeper into the city, they reached a large stone door, sealed and impenetrable. Silas felt a strange vibration emanating from it. "We've never been able to open it," Mehmet said. "It's like it's waiting for something." Silas recorded his observations, noting the unique structure of the door. "I need to contact someone who might know more," he told Mehmet. Emerging from the tunnels, Silas knew his journey was far from over. Ethan's warning echoed in his mind. The Illim were coming, and humanity's fate hung in the balance. With that said, thanks, and until the next time.